Welcome to the Crypto Campfire. Back off, man. They're scientists. Mitch and the Professor. Featuring special guest Daniel and Dustin from CoinFlip ATM.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Professor.
And Mitch.
And today we're talking with Daniel and Dustin from CoinFlip ATM. Before we start talking to Daniel and Dustin, let's take a look at the crypto news from the Crypto Gent.
Thanks, Professor. Hello, Crypto Campfire listeners, and welcome to the cryptocurrency news in a flash with a Crypto Gent. New Jersey Governor signs bill to establish blockchain task force. Ripple CEO says MoneyGram using XRP is a great bigger deal than Facebook's Libra, and Coinbase's professional platform to begin listing process for Algorand token. That's the cryptocurrency news in a flash with a Crypto Gent. Back to you, Professor.
Thanks a lot, Crypto Gent. So, Mitch, what's up?
What's up? What
You're
is
excited,
it up,
aren't you?
man?
Surprise podcasts are always wonderful.
Excited? Right? Am I ever not excited? Seriously. I mean, podcasts and all that just adds to the fire, right?
Yeah, man, that's true. That's true.
So today,
I didn't tell you really how this happened. So,
yeah, lay it on me.
I'll lay it on you and let everybody else kind of know what's going on too. So we're sitting there in the Twitter group this morning and I see all of them talking about how Daniel followed them on Twitter, and they're all so excited that the CoinFlip CEO followed them on Twitter. So I got to look this guy up. So I went, reached out. Here we are. We are doing a podcast now to learn a little bit more about CoinFlip and a little bit more about Daniel and Dustin and how they got into this whole thing. So,
that's
yeah,
sick, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the coincidences of shit like that happening right now, is just it's so crazy. I mean, seriously, it's just like boom, 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 done. Let's do it. So today, Clint threw out a tweet like he always does, and this thing was pretty hot. So I'm like, you know what? Piss on this. So I retweeted it, and I retweeted it with a comment, and I tagged CZ, I tagged Tommy Mustache, I tagged John McAfee, I tagged Janice, I tagged Snow's Crypt, I tagged all these people, and I'm like, okay, come on, guys, spread the freaking love. I tagged Justin's son, Justin Vendetta, get this shit out there. This is about crypto. This is what we're all about. Fuck your single project. Forget, just being you. But get into the freaking movement, will you, people? And retweet this shit for us. So I put it out there. I put the challenge out there. If you guys see it, retweet it. And let's put these guys on call. Come on. You're a part of this community. You're actually a larger part of this community than most people want to admit. So get your butt in there and retweet this stuff. It's good stuff.
So what you're telling me is that we have CZ coming on the podcast, right? You made that happen?
I'm working it. No, it ain't happened yet, but it's gonna. I promise you that.
Man, I'm really looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's grab Daniel and Dustin here and see what they got going on. Daniel, Dustin, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's good to have you
on
on here. It's kind of a coincidental meeting, and I'm really looking forward to it because sometimes those are the best ones.
True.
So let's start, before we get into CoinFlip and what you have going on there, I'm kind of curious how you both got into the crypto space. When did you get in? Let's start with you first, Daniel. When did you get in and how?
Sure. So the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin in general, it was in 2013, around the time of the Silk Road seizures, because that's like the time that it came into the news.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I kind of like started researching it a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is more than just something to buy drugs with online. And I'm just like, all right, I got to get my hands on some of this stuff. So I actually used the first ever Bitcoin ATM in Chicago to purchase my first Bitcoin. It was at Casavo's, an empanada place in Wrigleyville. That's me.
Nice. That's awesome. So you've been in here for quite a long time then.
I've been here. I'm out here.
Oh yeah. Sweet. So how, what was your first impression of crypto back then? Like, I got in 2017 at the very end. I heard about it. I started mining a little bit in 2016, but I never really got into the community and kind of forgot about it shortly after for a little while. Then it hit 20 grand and I was like, okay, well, I should probably pay attention. So when I came in, it was obviously crazy. There was a whole lot of new people. It was just a psychotic space. It still is kind of a psychotic space. What was it like back then?
Back then, it was way more disorganized. There was no Chicago blockchain meetup. There's no, coin to get onto Coinbase probably took like 8 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
The price was a lot lower. So that was cool. And, just in general, like it was more tight knit maybe back in the day, but now it's really taking the form that I would hope to see back then, because now people are on the same page. I think obviously there's going to be disagreements in the space, true, but people are on the same page with advancing it. And I think that just crypto Twitter has blown up since then. Like, there's now billionaires that have made their claim to fame investing in Bitcoin. I just think the space is way more robust, and I did not expect it to happen that quickly.
Even just in the short time I've been here, the things that have happened at the speed that they've happened is just blowing my mind. It's crazy how fast this thing is.
Bonkers. And then Dustin, cooler story.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Dustin, I know I kind of looked at your Twitter a little bit, and it sounds like your account got locked and it had to start a new one. So you don't have a whole lot of history there, but it sounded like you've been in crypto almost just as long, if not longer. So
yeah.
Why'd your Twitter get banned?
My Twitter got banned actually because I created back in 2012 and I was not 13 years old yet. So policy. So I just finished high school this year actually, but I've been in crypto since freshman / sophomore year. And then I got into crypto and crypto ATM specifically because as someone who's under 18, it's kind of hard to buy crypto because I don't have a bank account. And when I did, they actually banned me because I was buying crypto with my bank account. So my only resort was like Bitcoin ATMs.
Was CoinFlip.
Yeah, exactly. Was CoinFlip. So then later on, I was like, I love what they're doing, especially for the people who do not have a bank account. And I'm not like the only one. Like I'm sure other people don't have bank accounts for personal reasons or reasons that are similar. So then I decided to get into CoinFlip. Previously, I was always super into entrepreneurship and especially crypto and Bitcoin because it allows anyone to create. It allows anyone to be in the field. It's really open. People are about liberty and self-freedom. And I feel like that's something I could really relate to.
True. Another thing that really stood out to me about Dustin during his interview was that he said he back in his day, he made 17 racks flipping Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So
wow. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, man. I remember back in well, not even high school, elementary school for me, it was Pokemon cards.
We got those too.
We got those. Oh yeah. Good day, good times. Back when there were only 151, right?
Yeah. Then the monetization stepped in.
Yeah, shit happens, right?
Yeah. So touching base on that, you said because you were 18 or you weren't 18 yet, you couldn't buy crypto. It's almost infuriating to a point right now to me because let me ask you this. Do you have to be 18 years old to get a paycheck from an employer and go to a bank and cash that paycheck and transfer that check to a cash? No, right?
No, you don't.
No, you don't, right? So if you go to another country and you have a passport and you want to take the American dollar and convert it to that country's currency, do you have to be 18 years old?
No.
Okay, so why in the hell do we have to be 18 years old to convert the American dollar into a freaking Bitcoin or convert it into a Litecoin?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
right. It doesn't make any sense to me because it's a currency. But I guess it's because it's two-sided, apparently, because of the trading factor. But there should be no reason you can't buy it. You should be able to buy it, but you just can't sell it and trade it because you're not of age, right?
Yeah.
But to purchase the actual currency, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
100%
exactly.
bullshit.
JMO, man, JMO. It's just my opinion. I'm really passionate about the currency. Yeah, and I'm passionate about the currency side of this because that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's only speculative because people are getting into it. It's only speculative because people are adopting it as a currency. 100%. And because the more people get into it, the more it goes up in value. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a currency, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say right now, I would say definitely like what you're saying, 100% I agree. Eventually it will become a currency. Just right now, it's so new that it's kind of like a growth stock.
Right.
Yeah,
but just the argument that you can spend it and buy shit with it directly and not have to cash it out to do so, that's the sheer definition of a currency. So they can't say it's not.
Yeah, it's all a matter of time. Legislation moves so damn slow. The crypto space moves at freaking light speed, and legislation is just the polar opposite. So
I also just think the U.S. has like a very like robust history of like a kind of like getting into the hands of the consumers and kind of like preventing them from making choices that they otherwise would make. Like, for example, there's like a lot of like
control
rules and all that garbage, you know, so nobody can actually buy anything.
Yeah, I complain about it all the time. You know, everybody just wants to protect themselves from themselves, or protect people from themselves, rather. It's like, you know, I get that there's some people out there that need protecting because they are not educated enough to make a logical decision. But
do we really think that that's the agenda?
I mean, I think that's part of it.
I think that's the agenda for sure.
I think that's kind of how it started. But at the same time, there's also, you know, big money and stuff involved on the back end, and there's a whole lot of other alternatives. But it's a combination thereof. And there's definitely, at the very least, the facade of it all is protecting people from themselves. You know, they want you to believe that. Even if that's really not their intent, they're trying to make you believe it. And that's
that's what they want you to believe. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this is a very powerful, debatable topic.
It is, really.
And it, you know, there's a lot of emotion that comes from people that are passionate about it. And I guess I could say I'm one of them. So, you know, it's all about transposing that energy and taking that passion and putting it to good use and putting it to a realistic platform. You know, there's multiple different kinds of protests, and I think one of the best ones is protesting with logic, tact, and respect, right? Because when you can protest with those three things, people receive it. When you protest with ignorance, when you protest with anger, when you protest with just non-information or non-factual information, people tend to blow that off. But when you make sense and you do it with tact and you do it with respect, they have no choice but to listen. Even though they might not agree with you, they have to at least listen.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. So you have those violent type revolutions, but then you're left with the Soviet Union. You know how that turned.
Right?
So circling back, I kind of want to get into CoinFlip a little bit and kind of get some info on how it works and how people would get into setting up an ATM. I know you said that you kind of first got the idea of needing an ATM because you were using LocalBitcoins. What was your first experience like when you used LocalBitcoins.com to make a transaction?
Oh, right. LocalBitcoins.com. I mean, it was kind of, you know, freeing, but also kind of rattling at the same time. Like, it's like, oh my God, I can just walk in, meet somebody at a Starbucks and get this awesome thing. Like, that's really cool. But at the same time, it was like, okay, am I going to get offed if I do this 10 times? And is this scalable if I ever wanted to recreate this? And it's not, because you can't just meet up with 90 people a day. You have to have like a device that's standing there all the time to take people's transactions. That's exactly what we had hoped to accomplish with CoinFlip.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's not really a safe way of doing things. I mean, like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but having the ability to just go interact with the machine and have it done and not have to, number one, the safety issue. Number two, the time it takes to do it. Number three, a lot more effort than just walking up to an ATM.
Yeah, it's like, are you free? Can you come this day? Like, you know, all that.
You know, like, it works and all, but it, you know, it's one of those things. It works, but it's not really a good system. So, you know, I mean, my first experience on LocalBitcoins, I was in South Dakota in June of 2018 on a little road trip, and I needed a little bit of extra cash, and that was right when Bitcoin was kind of climbing that first bounce after the big crash, right? And we were starting to go back up a little bit, hit the 10,000 mark again, and so I wanted to sell some Bitcoin, but there was no Bitcoin ATMs around me at the time because, just like now, there's hardly any out there still, except for real big cities.
On it.
Yeah, you're getting there. And I must have waited like 3 hours for this guy to go down to wherever his MoneyGram was and send me the money to CVS. And I thought he was just going to stiff me on it, and I was going to have to file a claim with LocalBitcoins or whatever. But no, it turned out good, but man, it was a pain in the ass. So it would be really nice to just walk up to an ATM and grab your cash when you need it.
We would tend to agree.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So about your ATMs, how would somebody go about closing a deal with you to put an ATM in a location in their town?
Yeah, because I want to do that.
Sure. So, I mean, I can get into the details, you know, like how much we pay and stuff if we get off the podcast, but like, we do have a robust sales program where if you know a location that does want to host a Bitcoin ATM, we would be happy to pay you an upfront payment and some residuals off the top. As well, if you're a store owner, we will pay you rent, monthly rent, and then there is an incentive bonus if your ATM does really well.
at the end of the podcast, guys, I'm gonna shoot you my email address, and if you could maybe email me some information on this, right? So at the end of the podcast, I'll give you my email. I'll do it on the Twitter, and you can take that. You can take that and email me some information on the Bitcoin ATM, because I have an establishment that is interested, but I just haven't been afforded the information to be able to get them more interested, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally.
That makes a lot of sense.
We can definitely do that for you and be happy to.
Cool.
Yeah, this is something that we actually talked about. I had forgotten about this, but Mitch and I actually talked about this. He brought it up like probably a year ago. Like, hey, I've got some buddies that run an establishment, and we want to get an ATM in here, and yeah, like this is something that we definitely want to look into. So it'd be really sweet to kind of check it out. So, and
you know what, since we're on this conversation, you know, JonnyLitecoin and I I consider us pretty good friends in the crypto space, right? And been bugging Johnny for quite a while to give me some information, get me some more stuff, right? So him and I got on a long conversation about this Bitcoin ATM thing and getting it into this establishment. So it just hasn't gotten to that next step until today. I received my swag box, right? So, and I have yet to open it, and I'm considering opening it on this podcast later towards the end. But all this stuff that I've been asking for, he finally granted and sent it to me, and I'm like on fire about it, because this is all the stuff that I need, all these tools, these little tools that people can hold on to, touch and feel and see, right? Realize what you're talking about is real.
What do they send you?
Well, that's what I mean. I got to go open the box. So, you know, I'm going to open the box here in a minute, but that's going to be the what's that? The cliffhanger for a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
If you will.
Oh, there we go.
CoinFlip swag.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's in it. Let me go find out.
Well, you don't know what's in the Litecoin one either, and that didn't stop you.
Well, no, you're right.
I mean, if you're going to send swag, I don't think we're going to turn swag down. So
no,
we can hit you back with some Campfire swag too.
We got
maybe a
like
treasure.
Yeah, exactly. We have a bunch of stuff coming.
Nice.
What's the best way besides tweeting and you know, sharing each other's stories to spread everyone's awareness about who we are, all of us, and what we're doing, all of us, as far as for cryptocurrency, other than the swag? When somebody sees some kick-ass shirt, they're like, what is that? You know, they want to know more about it.
Yeah.
Right? So of course I got this.
Oh, nice.
This is sick.
And for the people that are audio or listening to audio only right now, it's a shirt that says "Pay with Crypto" with some
Pay with Crypto, baby.
logos.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's that, and then oh wait, this is a fat envelope. I know it's not cash because we don't deal with that.
What's that shit?
So I got some stickers. This is cool. It says Bitcoin accepted here.
We got those.
Yeah, we got them.
Right.
Nice.
And then this one, Bitcoin Litecoin accepted here.
Awesome.
Nice.
And then of course I got the LEPAL cards for the LEPAL wallets.
JonnyLitecoin took care of you.
He did. You know, I mean, this guy, I haven't, and I don't know you guys yet. And I'm sure once I get to know you guys, I'll realize your passion about this industry. But I've seen Johnny's on a daily basis, and he's the one that really inspired me to get out there, beat the ground, and do the adoption work, right? Get out there, talk to people about it, bring it to light, let them know, feed them information, whatever the case may be. But unless we go out there and do it, they're limited to what the media tells you, and we really don't want that because it's never truth.
Right.
So,
100%.
So Dustin,
okay, so
I've got to ask you: have you made any progress on getting a currency symbol together for Satoshis?
You know, I'm trying, but I don't think we're there yet. But you know what? I feel like we're gonna need it sooner than we think.
Seriously, I think you're right.
Like people are talking about stacking sats now, and like people know like. What I'm thinking is that in like 10 years, when we say Satoshi, I don't think we're going to be thinking of Satoshi Nakamoto. I think we're going to be talking about the unit of Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. How much is that? It's 5 sats, please. Thanks.
Satoshis are worth more than some currencies now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a good thing. I mean, but that's the nice thing, though. This space is growing so much. I mean, I just can't wait to see how it really disrupts the traditional fiat system. I mean, there's no doubt that most governments are going to try to adopt blockchain in one form or another, whether it's trying to issue their existing fiat currency on a blockchain for a more robust system or a more secure system. But I think there's going to be some also that are unwilling. Mitch has got the pay with crypto shirt on. Hell yes.
Add a video portion to this podcast, I think.
Well, you know that we've talked about it, and we're going to start it, and especially now that we're using Zoom, we're going to be doing video pretty much all the time pretty soon. So
we could actually put that on YouTube.
I want this picture of Putin on a bear on there too. But,
nice. That's amazing. I forgot what I was talking about, but I really don't care anymore.
Sorry.
Daniel, why don't you tell us about how you accidentally almost mistook cortisone for toothpaste? Because that seems like a really bad mistake.
Oh my God, you saw that? So the freaking cortisone container just looked exactly like Colgate. It even started with the same 2 letters. And I was just like, probably like really early in the morning, I just like shoved my cat off the sink and I was just about to reach for anything I could and about to be super, super bad. But literally the container looks exactly the same as a tube of Colgate toothpaste.
It really does. It's red and white, right?
Red and white, first 2 letters, where my toothpaste normally is. Like, come on.
Yeah, you know, and early in the morning.
Almost like proud me for not making the mistake.
They did it on purpose. Maybe they did it on purpose. I wonder how many people have actually done it, though.
Yeah. I pray for them.
Right?
What an experience.
I saw.
Oh, Lord. Let's take a break for a second. I need to drink a beer.
You've just been working too much all day.
It must be exhausting to always have to, like, you know, talking points, talk to people, or whatever. Rest of your comes naturally.
Oh no! See! Look here. This is called a wood shop, right?
Yeah.
There's no people there.
in this wood shop, I build stuff, and I'm currently building stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff that I work on a daily basis. So yeah.
Yeah, the podcast is his only social interaction, and on occasion they open the gate and let him out into the real world for an hour at a time.
God, and look out! When that happens, it's
right
game
back
on.
Yeah, you just got to scroll back through his live feeds. You'll find the ones where he's chasing people in Detroit and they're running away from him.
Yeah.
Back in 2000.
You know what Bitcoin is, and they'd run away. It's great.
Yeah.
You got a few of them.
I'm not trying to sell you anything, really. I'm not.
It was great. He actually got a couple conversations in with some people, though, and most of them were thought you were going to like take them home with you or something. But
oh, that one guy, man, he was out there. But yeah, that was a long conversation. I think I got his whole life story, and
that was great, though.
It was definitely an interesting event for sure. So that was fun. I need to do it again. And I think next week, I don't know, me and Clint Westwood are going to get into some shit next week. I'm going to hang out with him for the week. And then we're going to the Bitcoin Bend meetup on Saturday together. You know, all of us are meeting there. So I'm hanging out at Clint's house for the week. I'm going to be working there, and we're going to be getting into a bunch of shit. I can't wait. And I just can't imagine him and I together going to an establishment in Illinois. They're probably, you know, it's going to be off the hook, and it's going to be live broadcast all week. So be prepared for that. Well, like, okay, so next week I'm working at Clint wants to turn his place into like a crypto getaway, right? For all of us people that are either in the family or just passing through, right? To help spread, you know, to help give people like us a sanctuary, kind of, to just get away and have a place for all of us to meet and talk what we enjoy, talk what we love, and meet up and do crypto stuff, right? And just hang out, man. Enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the cornfields and the pine trees and the wilderness and whatever else we want to get into. And I'm sure there's plenty of beer every night. But, you know, so that's his dream. So I said, well, you know, piss on it. I'll take an entire week. I'll come out there and we'll get some of this stuff accomplished. Because I'm a carpenter, I'm a builder by trade. So I'll go out there and put hammer to nail and put some stuff together with him. And that's going to be pretty sick. It's going to be a good time.
Where's he at?
So, he's in Illinois. So Peoria.
Ooh, we're in Chicago.
Really
We're in Chicago.
Well, you know what? I know you're in Chicago, and that was coming next. Was how come you're not coming to the Bitcoin Bend meetup in St. Louis? So we're still going to have this conversation about that, and after the podcast, we're going to get into some more details about locations and times and stuff like that. But I would definitely love to see you two guys there if you could pull it off. Even if you could make it to Clint's house, and we could all get in the Bitcoin bus and drive the Bitcoin bus down to, because he's taking the bus. So
I'm down. Honestly, I'm down.
Yeah, you got to come down. We're going to have. There's going to be some of the people that we were talking to in the group this morning that caused us to reach out to you for the podcast. Several of those guys are going to be there, so I think it's.
And so they're going to be. They're going to be stoked.
Should there be beer?
Oh, lots of beer.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Clint's making a liquor run on the way down, so there will be plenty of alcohol.
Oh yeah,
So he can't.
not
come.
at all.
That's okay. That's not bad. The Tech Lords isn't going to drink either, so you can hang out with Tech.
I'll make sure I got some monsters for you and stuff like that.
There's going to be coffee. We're bringing. There's like a lot of Huddle Fuel coffee coming down, so there will be lots of coffee. There will be plenty of beer for those who want
No
beer.
shortage of energy.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Don't worry about that.
Off the hook. So don't worry about it. Show up.
Oh,
have a good
yeah.
time.
Puro's not that far from Chicago. If you guys want to come to the office and like just see how things are, just see how
It
things
really isn't. And that might, you know what? To be honest with you, that might be something him and I get into one day during the week, seriously.
Yeah.
And like say Tuesday or Wednesday, come up to Chicago and hang out with you guys for the day or the afternoon or a couple hours or whatever.
We'll
Sounds
take you
good.
out.
Sick.
Make it
That
happen.
would be sick. Yeah. So we're definitely hooking up after this podcast with some details, please.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to that shit.
Exactly.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys, I take it you haven't seen anything flying around about the Bitcoin Bend meetup then?
Yeah, we're pretty. I don't know. Like
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's because Twitter separates everything. Twitter segregates things, whether we want to believe it or not, right? And based on who's following who and what's following what, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I push people to, follow people. I don't care if you got 100,000 people that follow you. Follow people because that's what gets your shit out there.
connections. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that's a big thing. And hopefully you guys will follow me and the professor and Campfire and, see all this awesome content that we like to put out on a daily basis.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, sir.
Definitely will.
Absolutely.
Fired up about that. I know the people in the Midwest adoption team will probably want you on the Midwest adoption team since you're in the Midwest. So
Yeah, that would make
you're gonna have
guarantee that one.
to you're gonna have to prepare yourself for that.
Yep.
It's an amazing team, let me tell you.
We're interested.
Okay.
Sweet.
good
We'll
deal.
make it happen. Hell yes.
Yes, sir.
So Dustin, did you ever get your Binance hoodie?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh,
What?
Not even. They're closing U.S. customers next month, so I don't even want one anymore. We're gonna get our own hoodie.
Well, I heard they were doing hoodies.
Yeah, we're gonna get our own.
Did you fail in procuring a Binance hoodie?
Yep.
Oh. There you go. No, yeah, but I think they're coming back, right? They're coming like Binance.us or something. That's
Yeah, they're going to open a U.S. only one. It's going to, but basically, it's just going to be the coins that they have legally determined cannot be classified as a security.
How long do you think they'll take?
all 7 of them.
I don't know. It's one of those things. I actually kind of almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of glad because I still got to get some of my funds out of Binance. I don't keep much on there, but I still have some I got to move before I get to that point and have to go through the longer, more difficult processes. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I'm not looking forward to it at all. They're just,
no.
Well, now the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, and here's the main reason, CZ, if you're listening to this podcast or if anybody does, the main reason I want to get CZ on is because we need to talk about this live. We need to be able to ask a few questions and get his responses because, I got a lot of admiration for the guy and Binance itself. I think they've done an outstanding job at being the lead. And I don't care what anybody says, there's a lot of haters when you're in the lead of something. But when you build something as incredible that they have, it's cut and dried. There's nobody that can deny that, okay? And people could say, oh, there's this, there's that, when it comes to crookedness going on, whatever. That's just FUD in my eyes. I think CZ has done a lot for this community, and I think he needs to get out here and talk to us Americans about what's the plan, man. What are we doing? I know you're doing Binance USA. Give us a little bit more details. Tell us from your mouth, from your mind, what's this all about? And how is it going to benefit us in the long run? And I think that is the main reason I'd like to get him on this podcast, to help get that out there.
I totally agree. It'd be
So
having there.
right, so we'll see what happens with that for sure.
True. I mean, the thing is that, Binance was a relative unknown as little as 2 years ago, but I mean, now they have more than enough money to comply with all these regulations the U.S. would throw at them. Like, why wouldn't they, right? Like most commercial buyers in the U.S.
Right.
Yep.
And the statistics when it came to Binance was, what was it? Within the first, they weren't even a year old, and they were already having quarterly profits larger than the Deutsche Bank of Germany, which is the oldest financial institution in the world that has 1,500 or 15,000 employees, right? And Binance was doing this, beating them quarterly with 200 employees. So don't tell me that something fantastic is not coming. Don't tell me that something absolutely outstanding and amazing and just empowering is not on its way. So and they took the lead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
100%
the matter.
Good question.
Definitely. So Daniel, I got something I want to talk to you about a little bit here.
What's up, boss?
My wife and I have started a new hobby, more or less. She'll come grab me from work, and we'll go out to lunch, and we'll park next to the lake where there's this little basketball court. And it seems like all the really weird white dudes that have no idea how to play basketball show up, and both times I've taken a picture of these dudes, random guys, totally unrelated, just standing there in the middle of the basketball court holding their phone. So I found a new love in people watching on the basketball court. I understand that you enjoy that as well. You saw a guy at Walgreens with the flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh my God, you went super far back. Yeah, that's my life is literally finding.
Yeah, so like,
how ridiculous they are.
Tell me about that. What was your favorite people watching stories?
Well, I have a terrible memory in terms of recalling things like that, but I never have superlative favorites or anything like that. But I remember yesterday, it was just so funny. There was just this guy. I was driving and I looked to the left, and this guy's car is just covered in eggs. Literally, there's got to have been
what?
Eggs. I'm like, who the hell did this guy fuck over? He just got executed.
That was great. What happened was Bunchu was carrying his Uber driver's eggs, and he accidentally threw them out the window. You wouldn't understand where that came from, but Mitch will get it. we had
oh my Lord
on from the Rec podcast last week, and one of his tweets that I found was he had to carry his Uber driver's eggs going around, and it was an interesting story.
Yeah, it's just, that guy was fuming. I could even see him through his windshield. It was almost the eggs were pretty fresh. This wasn't like this happened, weeks ago.
He was still recovering from the event. That's amazing.
It was amazing. He was probably on his way to get a car wash and hope no one noticed. But
get there before his wife noticed that his girlfriend just egged his car.
I mean, before she noticed that he probably screwed someone over, they egged his car, and it's who is this guy? Maybe I should leave him.
Yeah, maybe we should talk more about this. So I was going to ask you guys what your opinion is on Facebook Libra as a whole. Good or bad?
I think that I feel like Facebook Libra is much farther away than we think. But honestly, on my opinion, is that I feel like anything about taking away power from how much power central banks have right now is a good thing. I think that if they truly are trying to bank the unbank, I feel like that is a good thing. Because right now I feel like there's too much power that banks have in general that
totally.
Other corporations or it doesn't matter who. It's just anyone should take their power away because the life of people depend on banks right now. It's kind of if you don't have a bank, you get cash is not a poor man's friend, right? So you have to go to cash checking places. They take a percentage. You don't get connected to online, so you don't have connections to the bigger ecosystem of finances, and then that will be even more expensive. Things are more cheaper online, and if Libra really becomes a thing, I feel like it would help, and it doesn't have to be Facebook necessarily. I feel like anything or any corporation that tries to take power from banks in general is a good thing. At least that's
I totally agree with that. What's your opinion on the Libra Council, the concept of having all these massive entities basically operating as a government over this currency?
You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I guess the fact of the matter is I view it kind of as Like, have you ever seen that meme where it's like kind of like Libra's the Trojan horse, bringing in people and then Bitcoin's inside? That's kind of how I feel to like all these big organizations like Visa and MasterCard that, you know, are like part of like the master nodes or whatever it is over the Libra ecosystem. That's great and all, but it's not really what cryptocurrency was meant to be. I don't think anyone wanted like MasterCard to run a node or oversee any form of their cryptocurrency. What I do think is that, you know, it's a great way to be like, okay, like what is this like little cryptocurrency thing? Because Facebook, has reached to 2 billion people. Like, okay, maybe I could start reading about it, get more involved, and then boom, you know, happened upon the king, which is Bitcoin.
At the very least, it's excellent for marketing.
100%.
At the very, very least. You know, I've expressed on the show before that I kind of have reservations in the long term about, you know, going too far. You know, the concept of shifting power from the banks is wonderful. It really is, like, because long Bitcoin, short the bankers, right? But at the same time, at what point have you gone too far? At what point have you created a government? Because a government really only needs influence and currency to act as a government. You know, as soon as you have
military.
Okay, yeah, military. But, you know, can you see Mark Zuckerberg out there on the front lines?
Not yet.
All we need is all Facebook needs for military is Zuckerberg. So, you know, no, but yeah. So once you have this network of entities that have control over funding, this only works if people use this, right? But if you have a lot of people using Facebook and using this currency, then you have the Libra Council having power over people because of their currency, and you also have the ability for them to take that power away from the governments and from the banks, which is great. But where does it go too far, right? So,
true. That's a very good point. I think that obviously, you know, you don't want the central bankers to maybe lose all their power. You just want there to hopefully be a little bit weaker so that, you know, people can make their own decisions.
Right. Exactly. And it's one of those things, it's a careful balance, and there's really no way to maintain it systematically. You know, it just kind of has to happen. And there's always going to be imbalances. There always will be. And so even if the power does shift too far in that direction, you know, it'll come back one way or another, or it might shift somewhere totally different. And there's always going to be ups and downs, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the next 10 years. And if it even comes to fruition, it may not ever even exist.
Yeah, exactly.
True. It's not out yet. And I've always kind of wondered, what is the incentive of anyone to use it? I read online that it was backed by just a basket of regular currencies. So now you don't even really have a solid exchange rate to your own currency. And I think Dustin was saying it might be backed by stocks, but I never read that.
High grade or
good investment, would then, okay, that is actually pretty cool. You know, then like anyone can invest in kind of something that's backed by, you know, a stock or something like that. But what would be the incentive to jump into something that's just a basket of currencies, which may not even be your own? Like, there's no spend.
There's really no investment incentive because it's supposed to be stable.
It's not even stable though, because it's a basket of currencies that's not your own, whereas you're trying to peg to your own currency.
Right. So their concept and the way they explain it themselves is they're trying to build a stable currency that may not be stable from the dollar standpoint, but is stable from like a real life value standpoint. So like their example is, if you buy a coffee and it costs 1 Libra today, then in 50 years, if that coffee is now $100, it's still 1 Libra. Like the concept is that it's supposed to maintain a stable real world value or market value per se. And the only incentive for people to use it is going to be for people that like things like Facebook. They like to sit there and have really easy options and really easy ways to do things. So they can be bullshitting on Facebook with their family, selling their crap on the Facebook marketplace, and accepting payments in the way they're going to see it is just money, right? It's not going to be Bitcoin. It's not going to be Libra right off the bat. It's going to be send money, and they're just going to have that money value in Libra. So it's just supposed to make it easy for people to use it. But that's where it gets scary, because those are the kind of things that are really easily adopted, like PayPal. You know, just for example, people don't care what's behind it. They don't care how it works. They just care that it's convenient for them.
Yeah,
true.
So everybody ran to PayPal, and then they all got screwed, and now everybody hates PayPal. Except there's still thousands and thousands and thousands of people that use it because they don't care, because it's simple. And if they get screwed, they get screwed, but they don't care because they want it easy.
True.
So, you know, I got myself started on Libra, but it's one of those things that, you know, it's going to be great at first, like you said, for spreading the word about crypto. But I think long term, there's some sketchy implications if it's not not handled properly.
Right, 100%. But Zuckerberg's a genius still. I mean, I got to give the guy props.
It's true. It's true. I mean, he's not an idiot. That's for sure. He's interesting to follow. He's a funny guy, but he's definitely a smart guy. You know, that he didn't build Facebook on accident. You know,
so was Charles fucking Manson. I mean, Charles Manson was a smart guy too. Does that make me like him? Come on. I mean, you got to give the guy props for what he's done and for what he knows, but that's it. That's the only props he gets from me anyway.
Mitch is definitely not a Facebook fan.
He could suck wind. I canceled. Well, at least I tried to cancel all that shit. It won't let me. You know how that goes.
What do you mean?
You're never leaving.
I mean, he also bought Instagram back in the day too, which I thought was like, everyone was like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, what are you buying this for? Like, this is way overvalued. Now look what happened.
Hey, you know, like you say, he's not stupid.
Not stupid.
That's as far as I go.
That's as far as
That's the end of it.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's good.
All right. So did the bottle cap challenge successfully go down?
Yeah. You
What's
saw
that?
it, didn't you?
No, I did. I totally missed that shit.
What?
He heard about it, but he hasn't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen the video? Pull it up, man. I tornado kicked that shit clean off.
Okay. Oh,
It was
wait.
pretty epic.
Wait.
Pretty
No.
epic.
All right. I think I seen. I'm gonna get back on it. Was it with the whip?
It was in like a park. I started like a little like kick, like a circle kick right here, and then and then it spun off into the like towards the viewer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see it.
It's fucking. I think it actually looked one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, I'll see if you can't find it. I'll find it and I'll link it.
I just unpinned it today for my picture of Vitalik, but maybe I could, we'll get it back.
Okay.
You know, Vitalik is well worth pinning.
True, but he's like
Smart guys.
probably a few weeks down. I think it was like early July is when I posted it.
Yeah, it's not too far back. Not too far back.
I don't post too often, so you'll see it.
All right, someone asked Dustin. Yeah, apparently I
Dustin.
can't speak today. Hey, Dustin, what's going on? Someone asked Dustin this one. We started doing a thing. We call it the gem token. And what we're doing is we're buying $10 of whatever token that our guest suggests that day. You don't have to, don't worry. If it goes to zero tomorrow, we'll forgive you. It's cool. This is an
You
experiment.
just owe us $10. That's all. Kidding.
No, it's all good. We just want to buy some random tokens that maybe we haven't thought about and just kind of see what happens. So if you were to pick any token right now to spend $10 on, what would it be?
Any token.
Any token, shitcoin or otherwise, I don't care.
Yeah, I love
Except BitConnect.
How about I like Chainlink. I like the concept of
That's a good one.
oracleizing data and giving smart contracts the ability to do more than just get data from the blockchain. That's something I could definitely get behind. I love what they're doing, and I definitely want to see more progress from them.
I'm a holder. Thank you.
Same.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But the Campfire is not yet technically, so the
No,
Campfire will
yet.
become a link holder. Hell yes.
But you know what? The way I see it, what I hold, the Campfire holds, so I'm good with it. But yeah, we're gonna add that to it. Definitely, because that's a great project, and I've been playing it for a little bit, and I'm waiting for I'm holding now, and I'm waiting to just let it ride. Just let it go. And I think this project's definitely going to do well. So that's a very good one. Thank you so much for that, Professor. Guess what?
What's that?
I'm going to send you $10 so we actually purchase this token.
Baby.
Because the last one we missed out on, I'm going to say this, the last one we missed out on.
We forgot it.
But
We forgot to buy it.
We totally did. We spaced on it, right? So here's the thing.
Yeah, Tezos was our last suggestion, and right before it skyrocketed.
Coinbase now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
suggested to us
Awesome.
right
That's awesome.
before it got listed on Coinbase.
Exactly.
And
so
so we
here's the
didn't buy
deal.
it.
The professor
were
and I,
bombs.
right? Our lives are so busy outside of crypto and inside of crypto that we both suffer mentally from remembering shit, right?
We just
So
suffer
we
mentally,
lean-
period.
Yeah, right. Well, that too. But we
Suffer
lean
mentally.
really, really strongly on each other to be each other's memory, right? So he helps me and I help him. So now I'm focused on this coin thing. So he's gonna get bugged until he shows me the purchase. Yeah, we got it, bam, done. Right?
Yeah.
You know, I was really thinking about adding a thing. You know, we're launching our website soon, and I was thinking about maybe in the next month or two adding a little page to the website that tracks these gem tokens and shows what date they were suggested, who suggested them, and when we bought them, just for shits and giggles. Just to
You know what would be even
the smartest guy on the podcast.
You know what would be even more sick than that, Professor?
What's that?
What would be even more sick than that is say these guys are on our podcast tonight, right? At the end of the podcast, or even before the podcast starts, they go into our webpage and there's already a $10 fund for them.
Ooh.
And they take that $10 and they put it on a token automatically for us and just let it go.
Yeah, but you know, you just added a whole lot more programming work for me, didn't you?
It's beautiful though, right? Hey, you know what? I bet there's somebody out there that could hook us up with that programming and not have to have you do it. But I'm just saying that would be a sick way of doing it, would it
Yeah,
not?
man. That would be sweet. I love that idea.
I'm on board.
You
I mean,
know,
it'd
you're
be
going
sweet.
out, oh my God, right? Here's $10. Put it on a number. Let's see what happens, right?
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you have to spit it out when it comes to you because otherwise it's gone.
Yeah, minor detail.
Right, minor detail. So who's got the two cats?
I do.
He loves
Okay.
cats.
I love my kitties.
Sometimes he brings them to the office.
Yeah.
You bring your
Paul
cats to
and
the
Goose have
office.
been to the office. Paul is my roommate's cat, and Goose is my new kitten that I bought because Paul was bitching and meowing all day, so I thought he needed a friend.
Nice.
You bought Goose on 420, right?
He was born on 420.
Oh, born on 420. That's even better.
I got him in June. Yeah.
Nice.
He was like probably 6 weeks old. Maybe a month.
That's-
No, even a month.
One of my cats, I could swear, was born on 420 because he just acts like it. But he's got 7 toes.
Channels body.
So he'll lay there and wrap his thumb around shit. It's kind of weird when you're sitting there and all of a sudden your cat reaches out and grabs your finger. I'm not shitting
Man.
you. I'll post a picture of it one of these
You
days.
got a video of that one
I
time.
want to
So
see. I wanna
Yeah.
see-
my cat's crazy too because every time she's very boisterous. That's all she does is meow. I mean, all day she talks to you,
Yeah.
right? And it's really wild. I mean, just all the time. Well, I go into the changing room to get dressed, right? And she'll book for I don't care where she's at. She just comes looking past me, gets right in front of me, and flop. Gets on her back like, Daddy,
Aw.
pet me, you know? And it's just so cool. And she won't let me leave that room
That's
without petting her, you know?
That's so cool.
It's
Just
good for you.
crazy.
It's good.
Yeah,
For you.
that's why I was like, Paul is way too. He's way too needy, so he needs Goose.
Yeah, that's the same. Mine won't. My cat, the 7-toed one. I've got 2 cats. One is less interesting, just likes to lay in the corner and sleep all day like a typical cat. But the 7-toed cat has decided now that he's going to whine at me until I follow him back to his food bowl and watch him eat for 30 seconds. And then he'll shut up and eat on his own. But he won't eat until I go back and watch him for a few seconds. It's ridiculous.
The new shtick for your cat. That's funny. Yeah, I taught Paul how to sit for treats.
You taught a cat how to sit?
Yeah, I did.
Seriously?
I have video evidence.
I need to see that video.
So yeah, guys, thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm gonna hit you guys up in the
Was
DM
fun.
on Twitter and shoot you my email. I'm gonna shoot you my cell phone number. We're gonna get together. You guys maybe respond if you want with your cell number, and just Clint and I will get a hold of you guys Tuesday or Wednesday, or even before that, and schedule it because I know you guys are busy. So let's put a plan together. Come up to Chicago, hang out with you guys, maybe go have lunch and do some broadcasts, and then have you come down on Friday and head to St. Louis with us on the Bitcoin bus. I think that'd be sick as hell.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Also send us an address where you want to send some CoinFlip swag. We have a lot of those.
Sweet.
Okay,
sweet.
cool.
Do the
And
same.
DM us on Twitter so I know who to follow. Because there's 2 of you.
Right on.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, if you follow the Campfire, you'll see both of us.
All right.
Oh, wait. No, you're talking about just friends list. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, jeez.
Fuck.
No, it'll be sweet. It'll be sweet. Yeah, do the same. Send us an address too, and we'll get you some Campfire stuff out. We were just launching the merch store, so Mitch doesn't have any in hand just yet, or I just have him bring some up there. But we'll get some mailed out to you for sure.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Oh yeah, guys, it's been great having you on. We appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate it. Super grateful to be on.
Peace,
Definitely.
guys.
Have a good one. Man, I'm so glad that we did that. That was fucking amazing.
You could slap me if you want. I'm so sorry.
That's good. So anything else we need to talk about before we wrap this up? I can't remember. There's been so much stuff. We've been working on rebranding OBS Crypto. We've been working on the podcast. We've got St. Louis coming up. We've got the website's about to launch. We've got all of the swag for the meetup is almost here. I should have a lot of that before the meetup. I'm bringing some t-shirts. I'm bringing some mugs. I'm bringing some stickers.
Got my JonnyLitecoin box.
Got some magnets. We got the JonnyLitecoin box that Mitch has. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to everything that's happening. It's just been crazy. Everything's moving so fast. Man.
We keep saying it, but it's hard not to, bro. It's really hard not to. It's really hard not to keep saying, holy shit, can this get any better?
But it does. It does.
It does.
Every day. Every day.
I don't know. If I'm dreaming, don't fucking pinch me because I don't want to wake up. I'm just saying.
I will never pinch you. Don't worry about it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not talking about you, Spooner. So I just announced the other day that I'm sleeping on the floor in St. Louis. Thank you. So we should be good and covered there. JMACK, if you're listening. And so, all these little messages going on around here. I think it's been a great night. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just
it's
awesome.
been a good night. It's been a good night. We went from we weren't going to do a podcast today.
Holy shit.
And then this opportunity showed up. Yeah. Thanks JMACK first off for being in that group and just saying, "Hey, I got followed by Daniel." I mean, this would have never happened without that. So sometimes those weird little things turn out to be catalysts for something more beautiful. And this was a good night. And you and Clint are going to be going to meet them now. I mean, this is a beautiful relationship. I think we need to get some ATMs out here in Montana. They're putting one in like 150 miles from you already. That's crazy.
I know.
I'm stoked.
I mean, come on, Detroit, Ann Arbor, College Town City, whatever, all over the place. Yeah, we're gonna blow Michigan up. There's no question about that. And this is just sick opportunities, people. Sick opportunities. Get yourself out there. Get yourself out there and do your part. And put it this way, whatever you put into anything in life usually comes back to you tenfold. Good stuff in, great stuff out. Let me tell you. And it's a never ending blessing. I can't say it enough, man. I really can't.
Seriously. You hit the nail on the head there. I can't say it any better.
Right? And you guys, you people, you community, you guys are the best. And I mean every word of that. Trust me wholeheartedly. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even be doing this right now. We probably wouldn't have had number 2 or 3 if it wasn't for the community. So, thank you guys. Thank you so much for the follows. Thank you so much for putting us out there. Thank you so much for spreading the words that we put out there, because it means so much to us, and it means so much to cryptocurrency and the future of this space all over. So choose who you follow wisely, and you'll be rewarded hands down. So on that note, guys, if you think about it, throw a tip log on the Campfire. If not, please retweet it, get it out there. This podcast is going to be awesome. It seems like they just keep growing and getting better each time. And it's, all of our podcasts, in my opinion, are pretty sick. And it just seems like they just keep getting better. So, guys, have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy.
Peace.